But yeah, get your flutes in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, because it is time for everybody's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. So, Dave Meltzer, come on down. Nah, 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 nah. So, Meltzer said what post? Dave Meltzer, Adam Copeland never has had a bad match. Moxley's never had a bad match.
Adam Copeland never has a bad match. John Moxley never has a bad match. So, Adam Copeland never has a bad match. John Moxley never has a bad match.
Moxley never has a bad match. I mean, Edge, if they're bad, they're not so much on him, but Moxley's had some stinkers, dude, lately. You know what I mean? So here's Eric Bischoff on Dave Meltzer deleting a tweet about Rock and Cody Rhodes' disagreement. Now, again, Meltzer gets cooked by Brian Gewirtz. We're going to talk about it because it's hilarious. And here was Eric Bischoff's reaction. Meltzer's like, I know for a fact. We covered it here on the show. He's lying. I know for a fact he's lying. I know for a fact people are sending him. And I know that they had that planned way ahead of time because I study the business and I learn, Meltzer. I listened to Ari Emanuel, one of the most powerful people in television. I thought you know all the powerful execs and study the business, Brian. Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, the ruler of me. He rules me. Julia Gulia, we need I will rule you. But here's Bischoff's take on Meltzer's whole tweet and delete because it was a lie and he knows it. And I know for a fact you don't. You don't. And you're making up trying to pretend, but then he realized it contradicted himself, tried to jump on it before anybody could see it. And yeah.
I can't imagine for the life of me why in the name of Dwayne Johnson would ever spend a minute talking to Dave Meltzer unless it was with him. And because it's so easy to play him because he is a mark, he may hate that word. He hates it because it defines him. And he hates
it's like the N-word. That's what he said. That's what Meltzer said. Mark is like the N-word. Meanwhile, he's calling Quavo Cuervo. Those rappers over there. I had to clutch my wallet closely. I was terrified, Brian. Right? Like, come on, dude. And then he's all offended by Mark. Oh, if you say Mark. How over/under on years until Meltzer starts calling people marks? I bet it happens in our lifetime.
It's being called one, but that's what he is. And perhaps if there is a regular communication, it's because Dwayne's having a blast with him, like I know a lot of other people have. So I don't know, but it's like every time I read this stuff, it's like, oh my God, I got neural pathways that are inside of my head. You know, it's kind of like the little.
Someone in chat, so Dave didn't crap all over Edge versus Orton. I guarantee he did, bro.
Like the tubing that goes from your brain and fires different energy that goes from one part of your brain to the other part of your brain. It forms thought, right?
And don't forget, head to savewitheric.com and you can hear me say, oh, come on now, Eric, as soon as you boot up the home screen. And it actually just redirects you to savewithconrad.com because I'm here for it, a healthy AEW.
It's just how you go through your day. Neural pathways. It just communicates everything. They're like telephone wires in your freaking head. Well, mine catch.
And if you need help with your neural pathways, head to savewithconrad.com and get yourself some Kratom. That's right. I sell Kratom now. Oh, come on. That's not very fair.
Fire. Trying to figure out what this cat's about. Other than he's a very insecure individual that is desperate to convince people that he knows things about the wrestling industry that he absolutely has zero clue of.
Yeah, you just got to call yourself a dumb like I do, you know? It's really that easy, dude. You just won't do it. He just won't admit it. He can't be that. We're impervious. I am the gatekeeper, observer of all wrestlings. That's what Meltzer thinks. Travis Scott injuring Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber reportedly got heat backstage with people questioning why he was put in that position. Meanwhile, there's a video of Travis Scott going backstage and shaking everyone's hand and having absolutely no heat. And everyone being completely cool.
Dummy, yeah.
Because Meltzer just can't help himself but lie about shit or be told wrong and then can't go, I think I was told something wrong, Brian. Look at this. 3.5K likes and 120 views. Dude, I knew this was going to go viral when I made it. I knew it. The Young Bucks were backstage at AEW Dynamite in Oceanside, California. And there are plans being worked on for a return. So Meltzer letting it be known, man, that the Buckaroos, and you know that he's telling the truth about this because they texted him. Uncle Dave, let it be known we're coming back. They will be back and shredded, I guess. Like a preteen boy. The Rock reportedly legitimately, so again, more lies. Dave being a complete stooge, flutes in the chat for this dummy shit.
Yeah.
Because this is just amazing.
Liar!
So Dave goes, Dwayne Johnson legit. He wasn't going, actually to wrestle and decided to be a part of the Mania build and wanted, accept to be aligned, with Rhodes going heel. There are those in the company who believe the only thing that could have hurt the company would have been a Rhodes heel turn at this time, Brian. The feeling is that this current crowd is Cody's crowd. There is the argument you don't mess with a successful formula, Brian, unless you're Tony Khan. I can say that. I thought the idea of the Rhodes turn with The Rock was, the wrong thing. Only that I didn't think it would kill off the boom because right now, the boom's in AEW. But except it's about the idea because it's always ideas and feelings and never just facts. Brian of WD. Do you guys notice that? The idea, the feeling, racking my brain around the feeling of this idea. It's never just like a fact or anything. There's never a guy. Half a dozen people. Well, 24, but half a dozen. If you break down the key demographic, Brian told me there was heat backstage. Like there's never just a name or a guy or like none of it's true. It's just like feelings and all this sakes. Where was I? It's so stupid. I don't know. I lose brain cells reading this. And not so much the headliners. Okay, sorry. Let me bring it back a bit. I can say that I thought the idea of the Rhodes turn with Rock was the wrong thing. Only that I didn't think it would. Dave, no one cares what you think. No one cares, dude. No one asked what you think. I can say that I thought the idea of the Rhodes turn with The Rock was the wrong thing. Only that I didn't think it would kill off the boom because right now it's about the idea of WWE being cool and not so much the headliners. Oh my God. So Dave's saying that WWE's just cool. None of these stars matter. Drew McIntyre, Punk, It's just that, well, WWE's cool, man. And this is like a thing they just invented, that WWE's cool. It's not cool because everyone's buying in. So that's what determines cool is society, not your old ass. The idea is that, like, well, WWE's cool again, I guess. So even though it's really not, and I know, because I'm 70 years old, Brian, and I don't get this, man. I don't get what he's trying to say and do when he talks like this. It's so disgusting. Just to sit there and be like, it's about the idea of WWE being cool and not that, bro. WWE's still cool if Cena's babyface or bad guy. Like, you're just so out of touch. What can we say about Dave that hasn't been said? This is insanity. Headliners, it's more of a team thing than in previous booms. What other previous booms? So like the Attitude Era where everyone's like, it was a team thing. We had hot stars, but everyone knew their position on the card. Everybody knew what role to play. Everybody was working at a high caliber. Everybody wanted that top spot. That's how it feels today. So like the Attitude Era, Dave, but you're talking about the 40s and the 70s again. Is your brain not working, dude? Rhodes turned down the idea and they went with Cena as the second. It was like Sting. It was like Sting and Hogan. Sting was in the wings. As a matter of fact, Sting was gonna. They called up Hogan and he was like, "Sure, I'll come drop the leg." Shut the up, Dave. So Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn unsanctioned match at Elimination Chamber, 5 stars. And it's like of course he gave the match that in kayfabe and like realistically just made the least sense. Like, oh, we have a unmarked referee with a black shirt who gets knocked out and then we send out officials and this match is unsanctioned, but here's our logos on the mat, and we're, people are going to be like, not again, Phil, but it just is what it is. This was the most AEW ever, okay? And of course, Meltzer raised
Are you sure about that?
Of course he gives it 5 stars, dude. Now, I expected this, but he just never ceases to amaze, just confirms that what I think about Dave is typically always correct. The Rock has been claiming that John Cena's heel turn has been the plan since. Oh, here, sorry, I got to do it as Dave. Actually, The Rock has been claiming that John Cena's heel turn has been the plan since Bad Blood. However, others have called that the Hulk Hogan version of the story. Brian. Oh my God, dude, he thinks it's 1994 again, bro. Oh, man. Fucking Mark! Dave thinks it's 1996, and this is how easy you can work Dave. Dave calls his source. It's Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor picks up the phone. Hello? And then for some reason, Dave is on like a corded phone, right? And he's like, oh, hello? Right? I don't have a filter for that, but I should figure that out. But he's like, Terry Taylor, what's happening? And then Terry Taylor's like, oh, yeah, that's is it real? I think that, The Rock went into business for himself. And then Terry Taylor's like, yeah, the old Hulk Hogan lie. And then Meltzer's like, oh my God, it was the Hulk Hogan lie. Dun, dun, dun. And then he just goes and says this. It's pretty funny because it keeps happening time and time again. And the dirt sheets who back him up on this is true. No, it's not. Okay. None of this is true. They plan this all out. They don't plan Cena's heel turn just the night of, like Vince planned, like the fake story about Vince planning Undertaker's loss. Like Vince probably even knew he was going to do that for a while. I bet he wasn't, or maybe Vince was changing a lot on the fly. So maybe I'll believe that. But yeah, they plan all of this way too long in advance for you. And notice too, when The Rock puts the fingers in the air and then he did the 3 and then he did the 2. And notice as well, when he was in the bloodline, he'd throw the 1 up with the L with his thumb up too. So when he does the 1 throat slit with his thumb up, that'll be a callback to him doing the L in the air. That's at least the way I'm looking at it, man. I just feel like they're dropping symbols on us. And The Rock literally said it, like and all of the bloodline have said it. The things we do on camera matter. Every single thing you see is meticulously planned out, indelibly planned out. So I truly, truly believe that and have faith in that as far as that stuff's concerned, right? And there's no way Cena, this was like a last second thing, man. They try to always pull that because they're getting worked like little kids. And it's good to believe that, but it's, don't be like, here's $6. Like, adults have agency. You're taking advantage of fools. You know what I mean? So Wrestle Pierce go. The plan was for John Cena's heel turn along. So here, I'll do it as Meltzer. Sorry, my bad. We're in the Meltzer moment. The plan was for John Cena's heel turn alongside The Rock to be saved for the WrestleMania main event. No, it wasn't. For him to win the belt. And then what? The Rock comes out and goes, Cody, what's your decision? Well, you just lost the title, asshole. He wouldn't even care. So Cena, really picture what he's talking about. So it was just going to be friendly Cena and Cody shaking hands and, oh, hey, we're headlining WrestleMania, pal. Yeah. No story, just 2 guys cutting vanilla promos. Yeah, let's fight each other, buddy, old pal. And then at the event, Cena wins the belt, and then The Rock comes out and goes, what's your decision? And then Cody Rhodes is like, you Rock. No, they made all of that up too. Travis Scott just happened to have sweetgrass in his pocket. No, Brian. I was told, actually, the
Stupid idiot.
Jesus Christ. Like, what was going to happen at Mania? No, during the match, he was going to kick him in the balls when the ref was down. Like, shut the up, you idiot. They needed an inciting incident to make everyone go, well, Mania is about to be one of the craziest Manias of all time. That was it. Same as last year. Do you not get it? They saw what happened last year and went, well, let's recreate that every year. Let's recreate that. How did that happen? What happened? Oh, Rock appeared. It's like he came in, called his shot, and then Cody kind of maybe did go into business for himself a bit there, but we did work it out. We're all on the same page. We have this press conference. Yeah, we need something like that right before Mania every year. That's all. They just figured out the sauce, dude. They just figured out some new spice. in the sauce, and Triple H is back there. You got Shawn Michaels cooking there. A little more oregano. It's perfect now, you know? That's all it was. Oh, there's a little more salt, you know? There's some paprika in that bitch. And now it's just cooking. They figured out another thing you can do now, bro. It's real simple. You're just a dump and you're trying to, I have the inside scoop because I was at Collision and I wasn't the first to report on it, Brian. So we need to just make up. $14.99. Tony Khan. I've lost my mind tonight. So there's reportedly backstage heat on Travis Scott for his blow that left Cody Rhodes with a broken eardrum and a black eye. Well, he doesn't have a broken eardrum.
Shut up, bitch.
That didn't happen. We know that that's a lie. So.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar.
So Dave goes, as you can imagine, that got all kinds of heat backstage. When? You mean that 5-minute video when he comes back into Gorilla and he doesn't have heat with anybody? And when Cody Rhodes is walking to the back, he's not like, oh, my ear. Do you understand how bad it hurts to have an eardrum blown out? And he's sitting there keeping kayfabe talking to Michael Cole. Like, that's not him. That's not the Cena we know or whatever. You're so full of, bro. Oh, my God. With people, nothing that Scott shouldn't have been out there nor put in that position in the first place. No. All the sickos and all the old folks were like, who's this Travis Scott guy? He shouldn't be in there. And then they tell you that because you're an old fogey. And then you push this narrative out there and then they get heat on Travis Scott and they work you. And then when Cody Rhodes lands that big slap on Travis Scott at Mania, the roof is going to come off that place if there even is one, right? I don't know if you know anything about that, Dave, because you be going to indie shows instead of these big ones. But yeah, dude, you need to shut up. The one story that I'm making up right now, Brian, the one story that maybe you'll believe is that Scott was told to make it look good, but it was too good. Yeah, he for shoot slapped him. Dave, you ever been really slapped? I mean, it sucks, but be a man, you get over it. And it's good what happened. It's good they were stiff, and I bet Cody agrees. I bet Cody's like, we're selling the Cody's going, I'm going to make so much money at WrestleMania. He's sitting there going, I'm about to make so much money at WrestleMania, bro. Like, that paycheck's about to be triple, dude. What the Shut up. Don't blow up our spot, Dave. Now Phil Mark's got to call you out, make you look stupid for lying about this shit. Holy man. Oh, that's good. So while I have your attention here, folks, and before we move on with more of the graps, if you're into my coverage of pro wrestling and like what I do, consider checking out my other YouTube channel, Phil Marks Out, that I just launched with my episode 1 and 2 review of Daredevil. If you like movies and pop culture and YouTube drama and TV show reviews and things of that nature, and you like to hear my unique take and perspectives and hearing me rant about stuff, then head over to youtube.com/@PhilMarksOut. Subscribe over there. It's a different format than Pro Wrestle Times or Pro Wrestle Clips. Obviously, if a live show or podcast comes down the line, that's one thing, but it's actually me sort of staying sharp and flexing my video editing skills while also doing more scripted content, and I think you guys will enjoy it a lot, and I got a lot of insight in that world too. So if you enjoy movies, TV show, music, pop culture, YouTube drama, all of that sort of stuff, and you want to hear what I got to say about things other than graps, then make sure you head to Phil Marks Out and hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to babbling about some grappling. So again, Dave putting his 2 cents in where it doesn't belong. There was reportedly legitimate Jesus. I know Moose Knuckles gonna go somewhere with a joke. Heat in WWE between Jade Cargill and Shayna Baszler. So Dave says there was a confrontation that took place a few months ago before the Cargill injury involving Cargill and Baszler. Well, Cargill injury is not real, Dave. So automatically you're reporting on like you not understanding what kayfabe is and isn't. And this is why Dave gets it's preposterous, Brian, when Michael Cole says Penta's one of the best luchadors, etc. We've covered that to death. But Dave like can't figure out, he's going so senile, he can't figure out what's kayfabe and what isn't. It's been confirmed by a half dozen people that it happened, but nobody went into details past Cargill had rubbed enough people in the Raw women's division the wrong way, and Baszler was wanting to fight her until management found out and calmed the situation down. The time frame was when they were doing Baszler versus Stark versus Belair and Cargill matches. I don't know what in particular happened other than it wasn't just one thing. And the belief is, or what is it, Dave? Shut up. The belief is that some of this stemmed from inside the ring in those matches and some didn't. Yeah, Dave, it's just probably Jade Cargill's a little green, probably works a little too stiff. And Shayna's like, what the? And Shayna had to let it be known, like, you might be this big athletic basketball chick, right, who is slam dunking balls and powerlifting, but I, for real, was fighting in MMA when before it was cool for women to do that, and they weren't allowed in the UFC in parking lots and like, I'll actually, like, I'll have to handle it. It's like Brock and Braun Strowman. Hey, big boy, slow down. Like, I'll really beat you up. That's all it is. Yeah, you're impressive physically. And you know what I mean? You could dribble a ball good and lift lots of weights. Great. I will, like, I'll choke you out. That's all it is. And that's bound to happen. It happens between men and women. And I bet you it was just something like that. And now, right before Mania, I swear the dirt sheets are like, can you give us anything, please? Is there anything with the women's locker room? And then someone's like, well, like a year ago, Jade and fucking Shayna might have maybe been like going to, it's just something like that. It's just a kindergarten. This is why they teach you the game called kindergarten. Pardon me. I botched. I'm a dummy. I should go back to kindergarten for sakes. This is why in like preschool and in kindergarten, you play telephone, because it teaches you, like, people talking and misunderstand, not even meaning to, not even in a malicious way. And that's all this is. Dave's playing telephone, but like with a corded phone. It's like one of those like Fisher Price ones. Brian's got it hooked up to look like it's a cup. Next thing on his next stream, him and Brian will be talking with like a cup and string. Brian. Oh, dude. So he just doesn't. I don't know, man. This isn't news. This is like dumb. Why didn't you know about this before when it went down then? If you're the observer in the news, I'm the news guy and there's all this turmoil from a year ago. Or are you just trying to pile on when this is what the lie everyone's trying to put out there? All the women all are mad. They're not. Dusty Dave, man, he never learns his lesson. How are people supposed to be surprised by things if they're constantly spoiled online for AEW? There's never a time where things are kept a secret. Exactly. And that's why WWE's cooking. And we know for a fact that they're telling them, because it gets out about WWE and then it's disproven, right? And we know that they're swerving the internet really well, because none of us expect like any of this to go down exactly to a T the way it has been a lot of the time. Now, sometimes the expected is the respected, the expected is the respected. Like, we know, thank you for doing the thing that we need that right now. But a lot of times, we like to be swerved, especially like my wife said when she saw me freaking out during the John Cena thing and yelling. She was just laughing. She had a smile on her face. She's like, you've been watching this your entire life and it still finds a way to make you that happy and that excited. I'm like, exactly, and only WWE as well. Like, it's a rare moment you get a TNA. When I was a kid, maybe, Jeff Hardy shows up in TNA. You're like, what the? In AEW, man, they talk to Dave, and then Dave thinks he's being cute. Well, Josh Alexander, he's a free agent, Brian, and he's signing. My Dave Meltzer's like Whitney Cummings now, basically. If you ever listen, but Meltzer's like, oh, Josh Alexander took what the best deal is, and that's probably AEW, but I mean, I don't know. He like thinks he's being cute. He spoiled Edge. He spoiled Danielson, Cole. He was talking about, oh, well, he's a free, like all that, man. He can never keep his mouth shut. And then that's just it. Like, AEW fans can never have anything nice. He hurts AEW so much, and Tony Khan continues to text him, and it's only going to.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
Nathan says Dave went back and gave Moose and Lexus King a 4 stars. And then Lexus King kind of poked fun. He goes, should have been 5, but it wasn't in the Tokyo Dome, SMH. That's so funny that they use that people use the joke that the IWC uses, But hey, let's face it, I'm practically on the same level as Kurt Angle at this point. And then, he went back and gave Moose versus Lexus King a 4. Now, what I think Dave's doing, because he's so disingenuous, right? Disingenuous Dave. I think he's purposefully like bloating. You notice he's really giving out big stars for WWE matches. I think he's purposefully doing that so that he can go, look, see, I rate them so high. I'm telling you to try and say, he'll do anything to save face. He'll lie. He'll trash women. He'll, block like billions of people just for saying like, well, you're friends with the Young Bucks, so wouldn't you be biased there? Boom. While he's criticizing people for being friendly, boom, he blocks you like that. I think he's purposefully beefing up WWE scores so he can be like, look at all these 4 stars. I swear to God, man, just to save face, like, because otherwise, why isn't he blowing the wrestling? He's like, oh man, Ospreay, he's just the god of everything, god of my holes, pretty much. And it's like, where is that praise then? I didn't hear him go, Moose tore the roof off that bitch, And that match wasn't that good, let's be honest. It wasn't a 4-star match. So I'm going to stay consistent and call it a star ratings. I'm not going to sit here and go, and here's the other thing Dave admitted. He admitted that he does experiments with his social media and stuff and doesn't tell people. So we don't know if he's lying. And I'm dead ass serious. I covered this on the show. Someone's got to make an omnibus. Someone go and make an omnibus of me just roasting Dave. Okay. That would be the best Christmas gift ever. I don't even know. Maybe I got to do it, but I already do so much already. Less shows. No more Monday shows, and I'll do it. I'll spend Mondays making an omnibus. No. But we covered it, man. He admitted he'll do these experiments on people and on his audience and stuff and not inform them that's what he's doing. Right? So he could just be trolling right now for all we know, giving all these high star ratings, and then in a month he'll go, look, see, well, I purposefully gave WWE all these high star ratings, and look, people attacked me or people didn't attack me for that, or whatever. I could totally see him doing that. I put nothing past Dave, man. I really don't at this level. The depths he's gone to thus far, if you really think about it, like the receipts Meltzer said what comes with, you're like, oh, he's been spiraling for years, man. It's just we're really circling the drain with this now. And I know he gets triggered by that too, but when you say it about AEW, but Dave, your brain, bro, your mentality, it's really going. But anyways, Meltzer just lying. It was confirmed by 6 people. We covered that. He's so full of 6 people did not say that. So here is Meltzer said what? So we take you back to March 1st. This is just money here. Okay, you guys are going to love this. And Meltzer said what? Says Meltzer went to Collision in Oakland rather than watch Elimination Chamber live, by the way. And why is this a bad thing, Phil? We've covered it before. Let me just beat it over your heads again in case it's someone's first time listening. So this is why it's a problem, right? Like, I don't care. Go to whatever show you want. Enjoy what you enjoy. This is why we roast Meltzer. Because Cena was advertised, Cody Rhodes and The Rock were advertised, Punk was advertised, Trish was advertised. All these people were advertised for this show. And okay, Cena has 43 dates left. If you are real wrestling fans, I don't give a who you are. Tanahashi was probably watching that, bro. You're not any, you know what I mean, Chad? You're not a wrestling fan if you weren't like, what the at Cena's last 40. I don't care if they turned him heel or not. You know what I mean? Or he has like 30 dates left or whatever. If The Rock and Cena and Punk, the fact that in 2025, those 3 are all even on a show together, period, and you're the Wrestling Observer, that should be your focus. And I'm talking, I don't care if you're at Collision, sitting on Tony's lap, watching it on your phone. You should be locked into that. So not only were they not locked into that, but him and Brian watched it after, and then were complaining about how why you can't watch it on demand after the press conference. The press conference isn't, they're complaining, and then they give out these generic takes. Oh, this was amazing. This was great. This was awesome. You guys are clowns. Okay, so Meltzer was at Collision, dude, under Tony's desk, allegedly, right? I don't know. Allegedly. Okay?
Allegedly.
Yeah, dude. Cena turns heel and Meltzer's at Collision. So then Meltzer said what? Has a new clip and goes, obviously you can tell from what happened on the day of the show and the lineup switch. As soon as I saw that switch happen, it was like, there's a reason. So let's just listen to Dave give his breakdown. I don't want to quote it all. Oh, man. But Dave is just such a putz, and he wants to sit here and go, well, in hindsight, I knew there was a reason they did this switch, and but I still didn't watch it. I was still sitting on Tony Khan's lap, or he was sitting on mine, and I had my hand up his ass. instead of watching this show, but I had a hunch. I had a feeling. Ooh, right? Here we go. Here's Dave.
I think it came down, basically how everyone said, that he wanted Cody. That would be a bad move. Because
again, you had that in the Observer that his plan A was to have Cody turn heel and join him.
Right. I think that would
and
a complete and utter lie, dude. Without question, an unbearable lie. Where's my
Liar?
That would have still left Cena as the babyface, and that match would have still happened the way that it did.
Yeah. Cena would have been the babyface, and whether he would have won the title or
And
not.
it would have been the same thing. It would have been the same hype. It would have broke the internet. It would have got all the hype about Mania, the same viewership on Netflix. It wouldn't have even mattered. You would have got the exact same thing as long as there's a babyface and a heel, Brian. That's why Brian doesn't get a pass, because that's what Brian just said. Oh, it wouldn't matter. You'd still get the match, right? It'd be babyface heel. No, stupid. It's not the same thing if Cody turned heel, bro. It's not the same thing at all.
I don't know. Obviously, you can tell from what happened on the day of the show and the switch, from putting them on early and putting them on last. As soon as I saw that switch happen, it was like, there's a reason you change that. And when the show was over and Cena had turned, it was like, okay, the original plan, which was for them to do the
you don't know. You were at Collision, bro. How the would you know?
The Women's Chamber, the Trish Stratus match,
Oh my!
and then the Rock segment. It's like you couldn't turn John Cena on Cody Rhodes then.
Yep.
No, Dave. It was always planned. Oh my God! Study the business. Ari Emanuel's on Pat McAfee saying that it's going to be something crazy, and Dave doesn't hear that.
You know what I mean? Because then he'd go into the match as a heel. It just wouldn't work. So that's where it was kind of like, okay, something's going on. And that's when I started. I basically pointed that out.
Oh, something's going on. I pointed it out from Tony Khan's private bathroom that Adam Cole hit in on his return, that they hit him in. Like, you guys know what I'm saying? What the fuck are you talking about, Dave? Oh, I pointed this out the next day when I actually got around to watching it, when I got home from Collision. What the fuck is he talking about, man?
And, the answer was that, well, it was a change that day. And yes.
Oh my God. He's lost touch with reality, dude.
They were going to go with John Cena. That, when Cody turned it down, John Cena was the one who got the thing. And the deal was to do the turn in the match at WrestleMania. So, that was what the decision.
So he just kicks Cody Rhodes in the balls, and The Rock and Travis Scott aren't there. And he just turns heel because Dave is, if anyone believes this, I feel so bad for anybody who he's robbing money from. And I feel so bad for anyone who buys into this at this point.
Or the decision you do it earlier. And we don't know, yes, it probably would have been one of the, super memorable WrestleMania moments, probably the most memorable, just that great WrestleMania moment had they done it this way. But
so there's not going to be a great WrestleMania moment when Stone Cold's glass shatters and everybody erupts and he stunners The Rock and stunners Travis Scott and has a beer bash with Cody Rhodes at the end. Or if there's not going to be a great moment when it's Yeetamania and we're yeeting all over the place and you're sitting there crying. And you're sitting there writing on papers and trying not to watch through tears in your eyes because you know what I mean, dude? Like, what are you talking about? So John Cena winning isn't going to be some of the craziest ever if he does? Or Roman Reigns coming out of nowhere and just Superman punching John Cena into oblivion? That's not going to be awesome?
I smashed your knee to oblivion.
What an idiot.
There's a lot of other reasons why maybe you want to, it gives Rock
there's a lot of other reasons why maybe you'd want to get a bunch of heat and mainstream attention and create one of the greatest wrestling moments in the history of mankind before WrestleMania 41 off the back of one of the biggest WrestleManias with one of the craziest and greatest moments in the history of mankind. Why would you ever want to do that? Why would you want to keep making the business hot? That's so weird. I thought you'd want to do flips in a gym for $8 million a year and wrestle fat schlub Triple H's on indies and go to Ring of Honor and sign NDAs. I thought you'd rather do that.
Purpose to be around more. It's not a face versus face match with Cody and Cena. It is a face versus heel match. Cena's still going for the record, so to speak.
The record, so to speak.
I think, and also, let's face it, they know as much as I know that the Netflix number drops every single week.
Oh my God. They know as much as I know. They know as much as I know.
Shut up, bitch.
You don't know, dude. You don't know up from down.
And
so he's just like, oh, that number's going down. So why? This is why they'd make great TV. Oh, they're a TV show, and they know that, and I know it's a TV show. So why wouldn't they make good TV? Like, what is he even talking about, man? He's such an idiot.
No pop.
Yeah, Meltzer, man, can't get it together. And so here is a post that's unavailable. Yeah, so this is what I said to the AEW Defender. So I put it in Dave Meltzer's moment of the week. I was like, it's not that Meltzer lies about people being dead who aren't, about studying businesses he's never studied, uses fan-made spreadsheets he found in random discords as internal memos, and does whataboutisms all day. It's because people like me want to be the old senile guy. What the did I say? The old senile guy hopped up on steroids with Just for Men running down my bald spot while I can't control my tongue whenever I talk about New Japan. Shut the f up. All you coping delusional goofball accounts are cooked in 2025. Go away. Pretty crazy. Yeah, I snapped. Because that, dude. They not like us. They not. No, I'm just joking. That's Cornette's bit. But so we have Raj Giri arguing as we chronicle here. Raj Giri's infamous arguments with Wavy Davy. And so let's see. Let's follow the timeline here. Robbie Stevens says, why do they keep the numbers so private? Talking about the max numbers. Meltzer goes, 1, because almost all individual streaming numbers for shows are much lower than the top shows on television. There are exceptions, but only a few. So it's better the illusion than the reality. 2, it gives the services a leg up in negotiations with show producers for new shows because those that negotiate can't point to numbers and value. Okay, actually, Dave Meltzer on point there a little bit. Okay, with some of his insight there, I guess. And so Raj goes, do you have the Nielsen numbers for the TNT True TV airings of the Mavericks-Lakers game from Feb 26th? WBD hyped 2.5 million viewers for the game, including Max, so it might give a decent estimate of Max viewership if you subtract the TNT True TV numbers from the total. Boom. That's something for like Ref MJ from NJ to do or something. So Dave responded here, and he goes, Meltzer goes, Feb 26 TNT aired NHL, not NBA. So Dave thinking he gets a point up on Raj, and Raj goes, sorry, it was Feb 25th. It was the late night game that ended on the 26th on the East Coast. Do you have the TNT and True TV numbers for that game? So Raj just sticking to the point, like, Dave, you're not going to win by playing semantics and not answering a question. And then Dave goes, probably fits with what I just said. They used the tagline max record, but wouldn't have had access to the number, though. It was listed as a combined number. I mean, I have the numbers, but they don't. The NBA doesn't. But I do. I'm not even sure they included the true number since the number they used was the TNT number, Brian. Raj Gary. Yeah, dude, Dave is just becoming like Whitney Cummings. I swear to God. We'll bring it back to the roots, And then Raj goes, that's why I was asking. There's been 3 different things posted. WBD's report said it was TNT True and Max. SPJ said it was TNT True. FOS said it was just TNT. Do you have the number of what the game did on TNT and True TV? It was just 2.5 on TNT. What did it do on True TV? He's just trying to see. What he's doing is he's just pulling Dave's card right now. That's all it is. And then Dave goes, don't know the true number. I seem to recall 100,000 to 200,000 for a 1.5 to 2.5 million TNT number would be normal. No, Dave, you don't get to go, I don't know the True TV number, but I recall this number that I'm making up right now, Tony Khan. I seem to recall 100,000 to 200,000 for a... No, you don't, man. What are you
liar?
The TNT number would be normal. The only time I can recall an AEW simulcast on True, it did 20% of the TNT number. Pull a card, bro. Who's got that stat? Who the... 20%. That had to be like years ago, bruv. And then Raj says, so the true number was too low to get the Nielsen number. Do you have the actual TNT number? I'm assuming it wasn't exactly 2.5 million. So I don't know if Dave responded to that or not. So Brian Gewirtz responds to goofball wrestle goofists who said I'm going too hard in the paint tonight. Wrestle purists. The plan was for John Cena's heel turn alongside The Rock to be saved for the WrestleMania main event. However, the decision was made on the day of the Chamber. We just heard Dave spout that. Wrestle purists run with it because they're goobers. And Brian Gewirtz goes 0 for fucking 2. Like, come on, man. Brian Gewirtz goes,
Shut up, bitch.
They just need to shut up. They're just lying. They're not right. They have this all planned out, intricately planned out. And Dave and them just need to get over themselves, and they just need to admit this is why, like, I'm blocked out by Ebu and Sappy Poo and Davy Boy, everybody, man, because when you can just point out, like, no, you know, like, hey, you're being told false and you know that, but you still use it as a source because you have nothing else, bro. It's just, they get mad at that because it's the truth. And they know it, but they can't admit, oh, I have poor sources, because then it's up their whole. And I'm not trying to blow up their spot, but it's just the truth. You know, just talk about it. You know, you shouldn't have positioned yourself as, unless you really knew, or else you build a good rapport and not do the dirt sheet. They're called a dirt sheet for a reason, too. Like, y'all know that, right? Because you're digging dirt, and it's like what you're doing, like the way you go about it. And then it becomes like making up lies, and then anyone can say they're a wrestling journalist and reporter. And people are like, you're technically a reporter, like you're reporting news. And it's like, you know, I'm not breaking news or anything, but I'm like reporting what other people are reporting. So that's journaling it. And I call it chronicling. And I'm like, no, you. But like technically, if you want it, but like that's just it. Anybody can pick up and do it. And no one's really doing diligence, and wrestlers like to talk. And so they talk to this guy or that guy, and then people all start a dirt sheet. And then what happens when that wrestler leaves that company? Then or like, you know, too, after the Stooge test rounds, you know what WWE's doing. And we called it out here at PWT so long ago. We were like, man, they are Stooge testing, and they're they're stooging intentionally. I've been saying it for so long, I'm sick of saying it already. Okay? Till I get my goddamn respect that I deserve. No. But it's like, you know, we've been on it. The PWT universe, we sniffed that out a long time ago. Together, all of us. Okay, we sniffed that out. Yeah, it's just funny. It's just really funny to see. And Brian Gewirtz, too. Well, he's just making that up. I mean, he's the writer. He's involved in it. Okay, if that's what you want to believe. You know, I'd believe him over you, dude. Dave, number one. So Meltzer said what response to Dave in the last... Well, let's just look at this. So as mentioned in a tweet I put out a few days ago about Sports Business Journal and Sports Media Watch report that the Mavericks-Lakers game did 2.5 million on TNT and True TV. So this is Raj being responded to by this Switchblade guy. So whatever, the 2 million stuff. So then Dave goes, this is Meltzer said what's response to what Dave responded to that Robbie Steven guy. He says, Dave won because almost all individual streaming numbers for shows are much lower than the top shows on television. Dave, number two, they're not as hot as they were a year ago, but maybe they are, and we just don't know it because so many people are watching on Max. So he's just showing a flaw in his logic. So Dave will say in one instance, because almost all individual streaming numbers for shows are much lower than their top shows on television. But when it comes to AEW, what does he always say? Well, it could be 30%. I mean, it's like 1 million. I mean, if it's 60, great. NFL does 30, so AEW does 30. So he tries to say, like, well, we just don't know. It could be 1 million, likely 1 million, because we don't know. So many are watching on Max. I mean, we polled our people in like 30%. You know what I mean? So he just doesn't keep the same energy, and his inconsistency and is why dumb idiots like me even are able to own him so easily.
If the promotion's dead, they're not going
So let's hear what Dave had to say here.
to draw with it. If the promotion's alive, they will. And that's why I think, like, next Friday, you know, we're going to have a lot better understanding of Max and of AEW than we have right now.
How hard is it going to be to get that number, though? Because they were pushing the Prime thing really hard. So now...
Exactly, man. And just say that to Dave. Dave, you know that they up this whole promotional and they started promoting Prime right after Max. It's so stupid, man. This is just idiots trying to just convince each other. No, it's good, right? Right? Yeah. I swear, Tony Khan.
You know, they got YouTube and payperview.com and...
No, it's a combination of numbers. It always was. I mean, here's the thing. In theory, Amazon should help, right?
It should.
In theory, it should help. Maybe, bro. Maybe. In what way, though? Like, oh, it's more accessible. Like, maybe some people will, like sign up for like I don't know how is it going to help. The way I look at it is how many AEW fans are on Amazon. Now, Amazon, they do have some success with series, and sometimes they drop it where you're like, whoa, that's really good, and it does well. Maybe they did the market research. Like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They're like big, like not as big as Netflix, but they figured it, well, as far as their streaming, but they figured it out, I'm sure. And I'm willing to accept that this is a calculated move on their end where it's like, okay, because, you know, they're getting more signups and hopefully. But in theory, though, again, it's a theory, Dave. We can't prove. You're just saying in theory it should be a good thing. And like, I guess maybe, yeah, I'll say it is. But that's yet to be seen, you know?
I don't know anybody who uses Amazon's pay-per-view function. Like even the hardcore boxing fans, yes. I don't know anyone else who uses it, but basically you're going to have access to that information, or Tony will have access.
Tony's going to have.
Well, Tony's going to have. I mean, oh, yeah, Tony, he's the best. I mean, you didn't know?
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Of course, he'll have access to everything. He has access to every part of me.
The best guys,
Brian.
Tony Khan.
Cringe is so. This is what I mean. Tony ain't even telling Dave the numbers, bro. It's quite interesting.
About your reporting of it, like how you think it changes?
And even Brian's like, bro, how are you going to change your reporting of this? Like, what are you going to do? Like, you understand that you can't prove any of this and you're talking to, right? But he just won't say that because he's a pussy.
Yes.
Yes. Listen to that.
Tony will have access.
Tony's going to have.
About your reporting of it, like how you think it changes?
Yes. But you know, we'll know. We'll know in some form. This isn't.
We'll know in some form. You're made up in your brain form, dude.
Like Max numbers, where like literally nobody knows. This will be numbers that like. I mean,
literally nobody knows. So I just make it up and make up a lie. So you just admit that you lied and made up the 30% thing, and then all your dumb idiot followers regurgitate that.
Grant, not too many people are going to know, but it'll be enough to where we're going to. It's like all.
So what Dave's trying to do is like, well, we won't know, but like, I'll know. Don't worry. Whatever I say, just believe what I say. But like, no, we won't actually know. Such a scumbag.
We'll have an idea. We'll have an idea by the end of the week on
what's going to be your over/under.
Man, I don't know. 125, 130. I mean,
total pay-per-view buys for Revolution, 125, 130, 125,000 or 130,000 pay-per-view buys with Amazon for this Revolution. Dave is so cooked, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, in that range. What do you think? I mean, I know why we're looking on our board and everybody thought higher, but it's like, you know, they're not as hot as they were a year ago, but maybe they are, and we just don't know it because so many people are watching on Max and we're not seeing it. And you know,
maybe they're hotter than they were a year ago because so many people are watching on Max. He really thinks,
what?
Dude, if that was the case, if their show is hitting 500,000 viewers, they'd be in the top 10 on Max. Dave is up, man. He's cooked.
Again, like this,
what was the World's End number?
World's End at the end of the year. That was up a little bit. So probably, 105, 110. I'm gonna guess
105, 110. So why would this pay-per-view with no heat behind it, and it's not as hot as it was even a month ago, doing its lowest, and you think it's gonna, with Amazon, it's gonna do 130, 140, 125 maybe. The other one did 105, 110, even though you know it wasn't even 105. And you're about to say this one's gonna do. So you think 30,000 people are gonna use Amazon extra just because AEW's on Amazon? This is where the delusion comes in, guys. So he thinks there's tens of thousands of people that have Amazon that are like, oh, AEW, I'll buy this, because is that what he really thinks? Oh man,
this is historically a pretty good drawing show for them.
Well, last year it was because of Sting.
That was
last year was fantastic. I mean, this is a much better card than last year. You know,
I don't even know what to say, man. Right? Like, what a freak of nature. Yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, it speaks for itself. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week.